Mother's Day, Father's Day, and graduation parties are all fast approaching, so mark your calendars, and our staff handpicked 18 thoughtful gifts for moms, dads, and grads to help you celebrate the ones you love. Check out our guide with the link in the show notes.
Hey, this is Joe at the Pour Over.
And this is Zan at the Pour Over.
Today, we're talking about the first 100 days of Trump's second presidency, a massive blackout across Spain, Portugal, and parts of France, Canadians heading to the polls to re-elect the Liberal Party Monday, and other top news for Wednesday, April 30th. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with the Pour Over today.
Here's your quote of the day. God, send me anywhere, only go with me. Lay any burden on me, only sustain me. And sever any tie in my heart except the tie that binds my heart to yours. David Livingstone. Let's get started with some espresso shots.
It's been 101 days since President Trump retook office. How he's doing depends on who you ask. 90% of Republicans approve, while just 4% of Democrats give a thumbs up. That's the largest partisan split on record. Both sides agree that Trump 2.0 hit the ground running, reshaping multiple areas. Government workforce, at least 130,000 federal employees have been fired or laid off. Economy, almost all products face at least a 10% tariff. Immigration, there's been a sharp drop in border crossings. And private institutions. The White House has pressured private organizations that receive federal funding or business, think universities and law firms, to change certain policies and practices. Generally, supporters say Trump's early actions are helping, quote, return America to her former greatness, while critics say the president is recklessly challenging the Constitution's limits. Here's a verse to consider whether your last 100 days have been filled with more victories or losses. In any and all circumstances, I have learned the secret of being content. Whether well-fed or hungry, whether in abundance or in need, I am able to do all things through him who strengthens me. Philippians 4, verses 12 and 13.
A massive power outage struck Spain, Portugal, and part of France on Monday, grinding daily life to a halt for over 60 million people. The blackout hit just around noon local time, knocking out traffic lights, airports, trains, metro systems, ATMs, and hospitals, bringing major cities like Madrid, Lisbon, and Barcelona to a standstill. Power was almost fully restored by yesterday morning, with schools reopening, traffic easing, and public transport sputtering back to life. But the cause of one of Europe's most severe blackouts largely remains a mystery. Authorities initially suspected a cyber attack, but later ruled it out. Portugal's grid operator has suggested a rare atmospheric phenomenon may have caused high-voltage power lines to oscillate and break. The European Commission has promised a thorough investigation, and Spain has promised to take, quote, all necessary measures to prevent another blackout. The fragility of man-made systems reminds us of God's steadiness. Our true security isn't found in any infrastructure of this world, but in Christ and the promise of the kingdom to come. Isaiah 65 says, "For I will create new heavens and a new earth. The wolf and the lamb will feed together, and the lion will eat straw like cattle, but the serpent's food will be dust. They will not do what is evil or destroy on my entire holy mountain," says the Lord.
Canadians took to the polls Monday, electing to keep the Liberal Party in power. In March, the Liberal Party held elections to replace its party leader, then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who resigned amid declining approval. Former central banker and political novice Mark Carney earned the spot but still needed to call a general election to garner widespread support and a, quote, strong, positive mandate to deal with President Trump. Monday, Carney's Liberal Party won the most seats, meaning he'll remain Prime Minister. Yay for no new business cards. In his acceptance speech, Carney stressed his priority of pushing back against Uncle Sam. A cornerstone of his campaign was navigating the trade war and resisting Trump's call for Canada to become the 51st state, saying number 47 is, quote, trying to break us so he can own us, which will never happen. Leadership changes and trade wars may feel major, but will you remember them in 1,000 years? Viewing the events of our lives from an eternal perspective doesn't mean we stop caring, but it reminds us to keep our focus on Christ at the center of all things. 2 Peter 3, verses 10 through 12 says, "But the day of the Lord will come like a thief. On that day, the heavens will pass away with a loud noise. The elements will burn and be dissolved, and the earth and the works on it will be disclosed. Since all these things are to be dissolved in this way, it is clear what sort of people you should be in holy conduct and godliness as you wait for the day of God and hasten its coming."
Hey, it's Steph from The Pour Over. I'm a toddler mom, which means multitasking is basically a way of life. Audiobooks while folding laundry, answering the 65th why question of the day while hunting for a missing shoe, and earning cash back on things I'm already buying. That's why I love Upside, a free app that gives you real cash back on gas, groceries, and eating out. It's so easy. Just claim an offer, pay as usual with your card, and boom, money back in your account. No scanning receipts and no weird hoops to jump through. Multitask and earn with me. Download the free Upside app and use promo code TPO to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code TPO.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. Sanctuary cities are going on Trump's list. On Monday, the president signed an executive order directing his Attorney General and Homeland Security Secretary to identify, quote, sanctuary jurisdictions within a month. Those that make the list could lose federal funds or face lawsuits if they, quote, obstruct the enforcement of federal immigration laws. Sanctuary mayors say targeting cities based on political leadership is illegal.
The Washington Commanders are returning to Washington. The NFL team is trading its Maryland home for a $3.7 billion complex, funded partly by the city of D.C. The new stadium will sit on the old RFK Stadium site, holding 65,000 fans under an all-weather dome, and anchor a new entertainment district. Expect football, concerts, and overpriced snacks to kick off fall 2030.
The small town of Chatham, Illinois is in mourning after a car drove through the building of an after-school camp, killing 4 people aged 4 to 18 and injuring several others. The driver was apprehended by police and taken to the hospital for evaluation, but police say the attack was not targeted. The crash's cause is still under investigation.
3 U.S. citizen children, including a 4-year-old with stage 4 cancer, were taken to Honduras after their mothers were deported last week. Critics say these children were removed from the country without due process, while White House officials claim the mothers voluntarily brought their children with them. A federal judge will review the removal's legality on May 16.
9 years after Kim Kardashian's Paris hotel robbery during Fashion Week, 10 suspects face trial. Masked as police, they allegedly tied Kardashian up with zip ties and duct tape and stole over $9 million worth of jewelry at gunpoint, including a $4 million diamond ring from her then-husband, Kanye West. 2 confessed, 8 maintain innocence. Charges include armed robbery and kidnapping.
That's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening, TPO fam. If you're listening on the Apple Podcasts app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We're grateful for your support. Have a great day. See you Friday. The other day in the kitchen, I poured citrus element powder in my water bottle. My wife looked at me and asked when the last time was that I drank water without element. I looked at her and couldn't even remember. No sugar, no crashes, just a science-backed ratio of electrolytes we need to stay sharp. Honestly, it's the real MVP of the pour-over. Stay fresh and hydrated with us. The Pour Over Today listeners get 8 single-serve packs free with any drink mix purchase. Just use the Element link in the show notes.